Cause it's time to move on now. It's time for murder blues.
Oh, and the fish.
Ken slapping it like she was slapping those golf balls earlier today. Ken was slapping those balls.
I was.
Slapping
I was
them
very
across.
successful.
You were very successful in slapping your balls.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good ball slapper. I like it.
Ken's the best ball slapper around. She slaps them like there is no tomorrow. We are Murder Moose, part of the Slash and Cast Podcast Network.
It's in the game.
Yes, there you go, Ken. Ken, we missed you last week, and we need. Brian and I were discussing it last week. We need a quick Ken summary of Long Legs.
Ooh, I've got my long legs on.
Nailed it.
That's about it.
Me and Brian
Nailed
were talking
it.
about it, like why are you long legs? Explain it. And then, as Classy Katie said, the movie should have just been called Hail Satan. And
yeah. I mean, it was good. My issue was that I watched it and I couldn't really hear it well because the copy we had was good. It was a shitty copy, no offense. But I just really couldn't hear what was going on a lot of the time. I don't know if I'm getting old.
Yeah, I had to put the headphones on big time to watch that.
Yeah, I definitely should. I'm probably gonna have to for the game that I'm playing right now too, because I don't know, but it was good. It just I didn't really hear what was going on for a lot of it, and I was like, oh, but
it's okay. It's all atmosphere. It's very much all atmosphere.
Legs. But it was neat. It was neat.
Yeah. We had a fun time talking about it. We were like, okay, we both like this movie, but that 40 minutes.
Right, yeah. We said we both like the movie, and then we both shit all over it.
I've got my long legs.
And you see how I just said, Ken, it kind of falls apart in the third act? Like, as soon as Nicolas Cage is removed from the thing, it's just like, yeah. Ken, how are you? Sir. I know you were golf drunk, hitting balls, whatever you were doing today. I was drinking tequila and mixing it with energy drinks and watching random things and then falling asleep also. So been lots of old man and old lady day drinking and passing out from it today, I guess, with the group. Brian was just napping because he's the oldest of all of us.
Yeah. I was taking my midday nap.
And then he had dinner.
Old people do.
He had dinner at 4:00 because that's what he does.
I've already eaten dessert. Yeah, I've had dessert. I'm ready for bed. We need to wrap this fuck up.
I mean, I'll be honest. I've already had dinner.
Yeah, I did too. I had some ribs left over that have been in my fridge for a week, and I was just like, I need. Yeah,
that sounds good. See.
Yeah. Well,
I've already had dinner, but I could have dinner 2.0 for sure.
For sure.
Sure. You are a hobbit, Brian.
I am.
Your dinnersies or whatever the fuck I don't know that would be. It would be.
I don't know what that means. I'm just gonna take it as a sign of disrespect.
I mean, no, it was more of a hobbit joke where they have second lunges and I don't know, second dinner. The people that made the Marvel Snap game. I don't fucking know.
It's been a long time since I've
second breakfast.
read those books, and I didn't watch any of those Hobbit movies at all.
I wish I
would
have
watched Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, I've seen Lord of the Rings. Yeah,
so
I've watched each one of them one time, and that was they were great. They were fine, but
you just go watch the dragon talking, and you'll have gathered.
I do not have 43 hours.
No, I'm telling you, just go watch the YouTube parts where the dragon is in him because that's Benedict Cumberbatch. Yeah, and just watch that, and then the rest of it is just a waste of your fucking time. Just watch the dragon be cool, and then. Yeah,
that's what I heard.
Yeah.
My first time watching Lord of the Rings was all of the director's cuts.
Dude,
so each one was 4 hours or whatever.
Yeah, I've not seen.
It took me a few days for each one.
Trilogy Tuesday, the day before Return of the King came out, it extended Fellowship of the Ring, hour break, extended Two Towers, hour break, and then Return of the King. And I've never wanted to.
By the time you're done with that, it's like you can start filling out your paperwork to collect Social Security and shit. Yeah.
I think I would have died.
I think I wanted to die. It was one of the most like excruciating experiences of my entire life, because you stick a ADHD motherfucker in the theater for that long, especially the second half of the Return of the King is just feels like the most drawn out. Like, hey, we're gonna give you 87 endings and not really the ending, and just gonna keep like we're gonna give blue ball you on the ending. We're just gonna go
that's it.
Jerk you off for a little bit. Nah, you're not good yet. Jerk you off a little bit more. You're not good yet. Jerk you off a little bit more. You're not good yet. And no more for like another hour and a half. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. Stop blue balling me.
As much as I'd like to keep talking about jerking you off, Rod.
I mean, it didn't specifically mean mean.
We did have this conversation about you giving Rod head and how good you would be at it. So
I would give him the best blowjob.
Brian's a generous lover. Is what
I'm a generous lover. I would prove it. Yeah, never done it, but for you,
I mean, anything.
That and I just feel bad because lately when we've been talking, it just feels like nobody's playing with your wiener.
No one is. No one is playing with my wiener, Brian. Just crazy people. Just crazy people on the internet.
I would help you out because I love you.
I love you too, Brian.
My boy, bro.
Yeah.
Everybody's playing with Rod's wiener now.
Yeah.
No one is.
You too can play with Rod's root wiener.
No, you can't. No, maybe you can. But
we need a Patreon.
Are you a single, eligible lady?
Please live by me because I can't put up with that shit again. I cannot put up with another long distance relationship. My dick just cannot handle that. Nope. I mean, I suppose it's better than no relationship, but here we are.
Then. Okay.
Yeah. Are you a hoe in my area code?
Are you in one of those advertisements on the side of all of my web pages?
I will never not laugh off about the ad that plays before porn where it's like, do you want to jerk off but you're alone? And I'm like, that's the point of jerking off, is that you're usually alone, and that or do you want to masturbate but you don't have a partner? I think is what the ad goes. And I go, am I just like completely missing the point of what masturbation is? Because I don't think that's like usually what
if you're doing it by yourself, you're doing it wrong. What? That's I don't think that.
Well, then when am I supposed to do this?
Yeah.
I
in a party setting?
Yeah, I'm gonna go into public and do it. Yes, do it and only masturbate in public, because if you don't,
only on
you're getting thrown in jail. You're masturbating wrong. Okay.
I mean, if you're not arrested doing it, you're masturbating wrong.
Yeah, you're doing it wrong.
Exactly.
Ken, I have to ask. I know you. I saw you've been playing Fallout London, and I saw you were very pink. Everything looked pink when I came in, and I was like, all your menus were very pink, and I was like, are you enjoying it, Ken? Is it very good?
Yes, I'm loving it. There's new factions. Hold on, please. I'm happy to tell you the new factions because there's more than just a few.
I assume the new California Republic isn't in it because you're in London, so.
Well, so there's the Fifth Column, the Angel, the Camelot, the Gentry, the Isle of Dogs Syndicate, Miller's Men, Pistols, Tommies, and Vagabonds. And
that's a lot of factions.
It is so fucking good so far. And the story has been really good so far. And like I'm just really, really enjoying it. So
do you have to build a house?
I need to, for fuck's sake. That's all I want to do. I just want to build a fucking house. I swear, I feel like I'm one of the very few people that was like in love with Fallout 4 building.
Yep.
Because everybody hates it. And I'm like, no, man, like that was so much fun. Settlement building in Fallout 4 is a blast.
Yes, like, settlement was awesome. Settlement building was awesome.
I hate building things. But Ken, you have approximately 9 billion hours in PAL World and like 9 billion hours in all these games where you're doing things that you do in regular life normally anyways, like building a house and like hanging out and like.
Look, I am older than all of you
combined.
I've never built a house in my life. Okay.
Yeah,
so
I've never built a house. You
just do that.
I have 400 hours in my Steam version of Fallout 4. So being excited to build makes sense just because I've played like so many different ways in it.
Yeah.
But I because I'm carrying all this loot around and I'm like, ooh, once I scrap this down, I can use this for this and I can use this for this. And I'm like, wait, is that a 76 thing or is that a Fallout 4 thing? Oh, that's a Fallout 4 thing. When am I going to get a fucking house? When do I get my London version of Preston? That's what I want because everybody hates Preston. I love Preston.
Preston is the most annoying bitch in the world. He just goes, "Can you do this for me? Can you do this for me? Can you do this for me?" Bitch,
he says, another settlement needs your help. I will mark it on your map. Can you do this for me?
Like, I do have a mod that you can download that gets rid of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's
that.
He's like the cousin in Grand Theft Auto 4. Would you like to go bowling? Would you like to go bowling? Would you like to go bowling? Would you like to go? Fuck you, bitch! No, I don't want to go bowling with your bitch ass. Let me fucking drive around.
I do have a question for you though.
What's up?
Would you like to go bowling?
Sure can. Let's go. You son of a bitch. You son of a bitch.
Brian, I started it today. If you're gonna do Fallout London, in case you don't know what Fallout London is, it is a brand new story setting, everything for Fallout, for the Fallout universe. It is a mod pack. It is a free mod pack that Team Fallon's been working on for years and years and years. They've got incredible voice actors in this, including some like really famous voice actors as well. And if you want to play it, you can either use the Vortex mods to set it up, or you can go through GOG, but you do have to have the GOG version of Fallout 4. You cannot have it Steam Cloud backed up, and you cannot, you have to do a rollback to a previous version because the most recent big update that Bethesda pushed out for Fallout 4 fucked everything, like mods across the board. Like they fucked up all kinds of shit. So you have to roll back. But I was reading through a lot of stuff, and it's almost better to just buy a second copy of 4 through GOG, especially since it's on sale, because it permanently alters your Fallout 4 save. Like it'll never be right again.
Interesting.
So I was like, well, I'll just download the GOG version. And then that way I can fuck around with that as much as I want. However, one other thing, if you stream and you utilize crowd control does not work with Fallout London, nor will crowd control be supporting Fallout London because it is a mod pack and it's not a full game. So they're unable to support it.
Nice. I've been playing Fallout New Vegas and I tried to mod it to fix it. And I got so mad because the fucking Wabbajack wouldn't work. And like it just kept breaking and not like fucking wanting to install. So someone in my stream was like, "Here's $10 for the GOG version," because it was still on sale. And let me see, it crashes less, but it's like it crashed so bad on Thursday that I had to restart my computer. Like I had to restart my computer. It wouldn't let me. Task Manager wouldn't come up. Like it was just like it was bad. And I'm like,
that's really weird because. It's funny. I've had bad luck modding Fallout games too. Like, I never had any issues like modding Skyrim or even ESO. But for some reason, I've tried to mod New Vegas multiple times and it keeps fucking it up. And I've tried to mod Fallout 3 several times and it's fucked it up. So I haven't even bothered to try and mod Fallout 4.
Fallout 4 mods are pretty smooth, honestly. Like, and I don't usually mod games. That's like one of the only games that I've like super modded until I got into like RimWorld and stuff. But like those mods work really well, especially for settlements, because they've got like sim settlement and shit, which I don't like because it kind of for me removes the whole like entirety of it. But I understand why people like it. But I like the cleanup mods and the extended power lines and adding cats and because I am a childless cat lady, so
I know who you're voting for.
Taxes.
Your house
while he's racist against his own fucking wife. Amazing.
Oh,
your house hippo was scooting across the floor, Brian, and it was the cutest shit in the world.
he's being
with his
he's being
missing
a
front
silly
arm,
butt.
but he's just like scooting, and I'm just like,
Yeah.
oh my god, I love him.
He's embracing the fact that it's not that he's missing the arm, he just never had it because apparently he's part worm and he's devolving to be a worm. He got to go on a road trip today. I took him out to my mom and dad's, and
nice.
he hung out with his grandma for a little bit.
So, Zelda got shaved yesterday, so she looks like a Weimaraner again.
Nice.
We've been dog sitting we've been dog sitting Katz's dad's dog, and he is a Rottweiler with like a little bit of husky, and he is a crackhead. But Stripes scares all the cats, right? Like they're all terrified of Stripes. This dog steps in, Stripes and Weasel peace out. Like they're gone. They're barricaded in the basement. You can't even find them. Like they're gone. The other cats that are scared of Stripes are like standing off with this dog and beating its ass and like putting it in the corner and just chilling. And I'm like,
funny.
but you're scared of Stripes? Like, what the fuck?
Well, Stripes weighs a metric ton, to be fair, kid.
This dog weighs 100 pounds. Like,
Yeah.
and they're squaring up.
It's, dude,
That's funny.
I have lived with a bird the last 20 years almost, and this bird will go after any dog, and like until like she figures out she can't scare you away, mostly like big goofballs like Zelda, and then she gives up. But like she horrifies the other dogs. They're all like, oh my god, it's a bird that's like this big and like weighs less than a pound but will bite you, and is horrifying. So yeah, animals are weird, man. It's all about fucking. So I like little dogs like Dogpool are like very much like adamant. I want Dogpool. Yeah, I want Dogpool, and I want 8 copies of Dogpool, and I want Dogpool to be my best friend forever. And by far the best part of Deadpool and Wolverine is Dogpool. Dogpool is the best.
It's a good movie.
Yeah. Ken will see it in about a month and a half, like when it comes out into the real world, because her theater is like she has to take a flight to the nearest theater.
Dude, I went to the bigger town the other day for softball, and I was like, oh, I'm gonna look at the theater and see what they had playing. They were showing the new Minions movie, and by new I mean it's been out for months now, and some other bullshit. And I was like, oh, what's coming out next?
Nice.
Nothing. There's nothing on the schedule. And I was like, okay, sweet.
Okay,
Bummer.
Anything movie wise you guys want to talk
You
about?
need
Omen?
to like do Fandango at home thing.
Yeah. I will say the new season of Dragon Prince dropped on Netflix. I started it. It's really good. I do not remember any of the previous seasons very well, so like I had to go back and watch the very last episode. But it's really good. If you like Avatar: The Last Airbender or Legend of Korra, Sokka's voice actor is the voice director for Dragon Prince. The first season's kind of rough to sit through, but if you make it through the first season, then it is so awesome. And the only reason the first season's kind of rough to get through is the voices and the animation, but then it takes off and it's really good. So
yeah. I always hate first seasons that you have to be like, if you get through that, like Parks and Recreations is like that. Parks and Recs is like that. It's like that first season is only 6 episodes of 20-minute episodes, but holy fuck, you're like, this is not.
It's pretty grueling. I started watching Parks and Rec not too long ago. I say that it's probably been a couple of years, but I never watched it once when it was on ever.
Yep.
And then everybody kept telling me how funny and how good it was, what blah blah blah. So I was like, I started watching it. I'm just like, I got through the first season finally, and it did pick up a lot actually after that. But honestly, the first season of Parks and Rec, I think it's kind of fucking dog shit.
It's bad. It's not good. Dude.
It's not good. It's not funny. It's not good. But I suffered through it to get through the good shit because once season 2 hits, it actually really is very good. It's a very good show.
Yeah, it's always weird like that. So
you could say the same almost for Schitt's Creek. Because Schitt's Creek, the first season, while is good, it's fine. That after season 1, Schitt's Creek just goes to a whole nother level.
I think
I agree, but the last season of Schitt's Creek is miserable. Like I know that was like their farewell season, and they were like,
I just
going out on their own.
Creek, like yesterday, I finished Schitt's Creek for like probably the 10th time I watched it because I love that show. And you're right. The season 6, everything is so. I spend so much time just crying because like you got to go through the Ted and Alexis debacle. You know,
I got into the second season and then like got like sidetracked and I never went back. So I need to go back to Schitt's Creek. But
bro, you need to watch Schitt's Creek.
I just dude, I'd rather rewatch.
Next episode, we're talking
what
about
we do. I'd rather just rewatch What We Do in the Shadows a billion times in a row because that's what I do. So
there you go. That's a good show from what I hear. I did see one episode. I watched the very first episode and I thought it was really good. I just never watched it.
And that's even like again, that show is very much like it gets better as you move on because like the first season doesn't give Colin Robinson enough like airtime, and then you get in more and you get more Colin Robinson, and Colin Robinson is the GOAT, and I love him the best. So let's go dive in though to the first Omen, or as I call it, the people read the script for Immaculate and wanted to make an Omen movie, like because holy shit. Brian hasn't seen
onto something, sir.
Brian hasn't seen Immaculate, so like
I haven't seen Immaculate yet.
I can't.
Immaculate's pretty good.
And Sydney Sweeney might have given me a nun fetish from that movie because holy shit, she's fucking hot in that movie.
Yeah, I've heard Immaculate's really good. I've heard it is.
They don't do as much for the nun.
And you
fetish
could be
thing.
onto something, sir, because Immaculate went into production in 2014, and the first Omen didn't go into production until 2016.
I mean, so what I hear is, I think we talked about it. Ken and I were talking about it. Sydney Sweeney like shop that was like. Or like someone brought it to her the script and like she ended up financing it. Like
she was like, I really want to do this, and it got canceled or like put on the back burner. And she was like, no, I really want to do this, and she was one of the producers.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, she does that with most of her movies now because I think she produced that rom-com that she did with Glenn Powell.
She did a movie with Glenn Powell too.
God, she plays in Anyone But You on Netflix.
Okay,
I think it's on Netflix now. I mean, it's been out in the theater.
Glenn Powell's in
Anyone But You
in everything, as we've talked about. So I mean, it's Glenn Powell's everywhere. I see Fat Boy there. Ken, do you have a summary for the first Omen?
I do. Are you ready,
I
kids?
do.
A young American woman is sent to Rome to begin a life of service to the church, but encounters a darkness that causes her to question her faith and uncovers a terrifying conspiracy that hopes to bring about the birth of evil incarnate.
So,
dun, dun, dun.
I said this to Brian before you jumped in the call, Ken, and I wonder your opinion on this. This movie doesn't feel like it has much. It feels like it's set up for the last like 20 minutes, half an hour. This movie where it goes wild. And I because it does really, 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 really remind me of Immaculate, like I said, up until that third act where they kind of have a lot of similar plot points, but they go differently. And I think that this movie is creepier than Immaculate, but I think Immaculate's a better movie because I think the soundtrack in this movie, first off, is fucking fantastic. Like all the holy music that they use to just like fucking set up everything is fucking great. And holy shit, I had seen gifs of it online, but the hand coming out of the vagina is one of the most traumatizing scenes I've ever seen in film. I'm just like, and it's, dude, can they even have the scene where she fucking like sees the one chick getting like restrained or whatever that was like right out of Immaculate? There's like movies like beat for beat, like it's a chick going to fucking Italy and just started kind of like the same kind of thing, and just they diverge at the point where this becomes an Omen movie and that becomes a Immaculate movie. But
Brian, you've got to see the end of Immaculate. Oh
yeah, dude.
Okay.
Immaculate has the
I'll
most.
probably watch that tonight.
Yeah,
it has the most. Let me know what you think of the end of it.
It has the most metal ending of a movie you will ever see, and I like the only like of all the movies we've done on this podcast. I think the only thing I can say that was probably more metal was The Sadness.
When Evil Lurks.
No, The Sadness.
When Evil Lurks is crazy.
That was pretty metal too, but The Sadness has baby murder, and it has a eye socket getting fucked, and
I do like a good eye socket fucking.
Hey, no. Calm down.
that movie is.
This is not your podcast.
Me and Josh both. Oh, poor puppy. Me and Josh both said we're really glad we watched this, but we never want to watch this again. We're like, yeah. This movie, it kind of frustrated me is that like it doesn't feel like it does a super great job of setting up why all like the investigation with the little girl and all this shit. It feels very much like, oh, we have to hit plot points, so that we could do the ending. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. Like,
that's fair.
Yeah, it feels like, okay, we have a really fucking intense last half an hour, and we want to do all this stuff, and we're gonna set it up, but like, oh, we have to get this girl there, and then it does like, have either one of you guys watched Rosemary's Baby?
Mm-hmm.
I haven't. I've always meant to, but
the fucking the impregnation scene was right out of Rosemary's Baby. Like, that was like everyone like running around, like watching and like hanging out, and then like the creepy Satan like popping up and like doing whatever. I'm just like, this movie does not give a fuck about, whatever. It's like, also the thing about this movie that I think that it's the same thing with all prequels that has a problem, right? It's like, oh, because the Omen, that Damien is born and survives, and that he's gonna be like, I mean, that's setting up the first movie. So it's that thing where it's like, even though this movie gets very tense, like at the very like last half an hour, like I keep talking about, but like, Damien survives. That's like a weird thing, like in that you have to fight setting up prequels, and it's like, I don't know. Do you guys have any thoughts on that?
I mean, I understand where you're going with it, and while I agree, sometimes it can be one of those situations, because you could say the same thing about Rogue One. Yeah, for the Star Wars. I mean, they're gonna succeed, or whatever's gonna happen. But I think the reason they do these things is it's all about the journey and not the destination. So yeah. I guess so. I don't know.
Yeah,
that didn't bother me watching this movie though. I actually really enjoyed this movie a lot. I thought this was pretty awesome, honestly.
I did. I liked it. Like this movie's atmosphere. This movie, we talked a lot about atmosphere last week, Brian, because of Long Legs being a lot of atmosphere.
That's because yeah.
This movie has a lot of atmosphere in it, and then you go back to like the soundtrack, and you go into like the everything happening within it. But like, I think this movie, I like the atmosphere in this. It's again another movie I probably liked better than Long Legs already from the year. It's like we're gonna just.
I love my long legs.
No, Ken, when you do that, you have to go. Did you forget your long legs, Ken? But you're still small. So I mean, you're like only like. Are you like 5'5"?
That's all she is legs and legs, a couple of arms, and a head. Yeah. That's all I see.
Okay, Zoidberg. Why not Zoidberg? Ken, you are not Zoidberg. Why not Zoid? Man, you want to talk about being horny? The Zoidberg is like comes from a race that like you only fuck once and then you die, and Zoidberg still wanted to fuck. I mean, you know how horny you are.
I have a question.
What's up?
At what point were we talking about being horny? Did I zone out?
No idea. I was waiting.
Okay.
I don't
clarification on that. I think that you're just thinking you're horny.
Yeah.
And you're deflecting that onto us.
No, I'm not deflecting that.
It's not my fault you're horny.
I mean, yes, it is, Brian. It's completely your fault that I'm horny.
Okay. I keep talking about giving you that epic blowjob.
Yeah, exactly. No, I kind of rung around to what I was talking about earlier, but who fucking knows? But anyways, I'm just saying that Zoidberg, it comes from a race that you fuck once and you die, and talk about so horny that you want to like you still want to do it, and it's just like talk about post nut clarity. You don't even get post nut clarity because you die. So here we go. Ken, what did you find any cool facts about this film in your like Ken dives, or were you too drunk hitting golf balls?
Well, I will say that the budget for the movie was 30 million. The box office as of the end of April was, where did it go? Yeah, box office 53.9. So if we base it on the doubling,
Yeah.
it did not hit it. It is considered to be a fail.
Dude, that 30 million, I mean, as we talked about it on this podcast, like up until Long Legs, no horror movie this year had made more than like I think 11 million was the largest opening weekend we had seen. Like it wasn't.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think that was for like Abigail, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think so. I think you're right, because it was like, but which still wasn't enough money for it. It was like
awful.
Yeah, it's the thing where you just go, and I mean, this movie spending like $30 million is just like, I don't know, like. Again, we talk about Long Legs because Long Legs marketing obviously was the best marketing we've seen in horror in a long time.
There was no marketing for this.
Yeah, it was another
there was
movie.
None.
Well,
there was
the
no
thing
marketing.
that happened with Immaculate, right? Like there wasn't very much marketing
there
for
was
Immaculate
no marketing
either.
Yeah,
no.
And it's the only reason why like we had like those two movies came out within like a month of each other, right? And like
they marketed the remake for The Omen better than this. And it's a fucking shame because the remake for The Omen is bland.
Yeah,
and
that's what
not good.
Liv Schreiber.
This is
right?
a far better movie. This is the second best movie in the Omen franchise.
Yeah, the first one, man. The first one is such a good film and such a like atmospheric thing, and it's just like that very much. Like, I mean, it has some of the most iconic deaths in all of horror, which is saying.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I mean, "It's all for you,
it's all
Damien,"
for you, yeah.
which they recreate in this a little bit, but then the fucking the glass pane, yeah,
right.
just like fucking knocking that motherfucker's head off.
Best kills, yeah, some amazing kills, and that was what 1976, I think.
I think something like
that.
I was
when that movie came out.
Well, I was trying to do
that in 71.
Yeah,
I was.
Yeah, I was trying to set.
Yeah.
I was trying to figure out what year this was happening because the whole thing was like you think that all along that like this little girl is the like gonna carry the Antichrist, and then so I was like, so how old? And then I was like trying to do baby math in this, and then like it didn't really matter because the whole time you're like, oh, but still like because Damien comes out at the end of the movie, you're like, okay, so this is like the late 60s, early 70s because like. The first, I mean, Omen happens in like the 70s, right? And so they even had it was like Gregory.
This one's set in 71. The prologue of the Omen actually took place in 70, as seen by the gravestones in the original film.
Yeah.
With the original Omen coming out in 1960s or 1976.
Okay. It makes sense because then Damien's about 5 or 6 in that movie,
about
right?
5 or 6, yes.
Yeah. So I mean, it makes sense. It's very much, I've never seen it. I have a box set, I think, with like the Omen movies and the remake, and I've never watched anything besides the first one.
The remake is so bland and generic, and it's just no good. But they marketed the fuck out of that movie.
Yeah.
And it's kind of a shame that they didn't do the same with it. Because like, come on, look, like. Objectively, if you just watch this fucking movie, in my opinion, I think this is genuinely a good movie. This is a really good movie.
Yep.
And the remake was just so obviously not. So I just don't understand why they wouldn't put that kind of work into. It's been like that all year. It's been like that all fucking year with movies.
Look at it. Look what's out this weekend. Deadpool and Wolverine. Which has been they have been marketing
a little bit of money.
Yeah, they've been marketing the shit out of that movie for months, and guess what? It fucking pays off. We learned with Long Legs. You do cool fucking marketing, it pays off. So you just sitting there going, why do they keep sending these fucking horror movies out to die after these movies we've seen? Like, dude, Smile had the best marketing I've ever seen with the fucking putting creepy ass motherfuckers behind home plate in like the playoffs, like for baseball games, and it's like, we're like the only movie now that I'm seeing like actual like, television stuff for or YouTube ads for is the Shema Lama Ding Dong movie with Josh Arnett. Or Josh
Trap.
Trap coming out.
Yeah.
Where he's like a serial killer, like he goes to concerts and kills people at concerts.
Yeah, he's a serial killer, and he's taking his daughter to a concert.
Yeah. And so that's coming out soon. But like, dude, like the things that I haven't seen, like his daughter's movie, like got almost no marketing, which I heard was okay at best. But like that movie got no market. The Watchers, yeah, was his daughter.
Yeah. I want to watch that. I haven't seen that.
I haven't seen it yet either.
I don't.
I'm excited for Cuckoo, and then I'm excited for that one that I tagged you in on TikTok the other day.
Oh, was that? Oh no, you didn't. Did you send me the shark one? Was that someone sent me a shark? Like
I think I sent you the shark one too, but no, the one I was thinking of, it's the one that's got, because I tagged the other Josh in it. But it's got, oh God, who is it? It's somebody that normally that we haven't had in a horror movie before. That's like gonna absolutely kill it.
Oh yeah, we talked about this as Hugh Grant, the Hugh Grant one.
Yeah.
That looks really good too. Yeah. It's frustrating because man, you do marketing like. I'll go back to Smile because I think you do that viral marketing like what Long Legs has done, and you put a pretty good to decent to pretty good to awesome movie out, and you get a lot of fucking money.
Oh, you're talking about Heretic. Okay.
Yeah.
Heretic.
Yeah.
You know what that movie reminds me of, and it's another movie I've never seen. The Keanu Reeves movie with the college girls that like sleep with him and then like tear. Yeah, knock. That's what it kind of
a pretty good movie.
Yeah, I've heard
it's
good.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah.
I will say when I was watching the trailer for Heretic, I kept thinking, is this a Human Centipede remake? Like, what is happening here?
Yeah.
And I was like, there's no way that they're doing a Hugh Grant movie as a Human Centipede remake. Like, that's just insane.
I don't know. I haven't seen enough of it, and I hate movie trailers for like the only like movies I end up seeing trailers for are the ones that they show trailers for over and over again. Because I think the other horror movie I've seen the trailers for a lot lately is the remake of Speak No Evil, which they give away. I get all the fucking things on it.
I love James McAvoy, but I have absolutely no interest in watching that.
I want to see the original.
Yeah,
I was gonna say the Norwegian or Swedish.
I've been seeing a lot of trailers for Oddity. And I've heard very good things.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of people talk about that one on Twitter, and it's another one that you only hear about because of like things like I think Chris Stuckman was talking about it.
Oh
like,
yeah.
So he was the reason I like. But that looks good. Not playing on my Alamo at all.
Hey,
and it's just
Ken, did you like this movie? You haven't said anything.
No, she said she zoned out.
I zoned out for a bit of it. I mean, it was good. It felt really long. Okay. But again, I think because it was so similar to Immaculate, because for me, like a lot of it, so many of the actors and actresses looked so similar. Like I get that with, we've got the nuns and we've got, that very, typical look. There were just moments where everybody felt like they looked so similar that I was like, okay. Yeah. But it was good. I think honestly what I need to start doing is watching things with my headphones. Cause like you mentioned, like I have a hard time hearing stuff anymore. And I'm like, oh, I should probably put those on.
Yeah, dude. I pretty much, anytime I watch a movie, almost every time I literally put headphones on because years of standing in front of massive amplifiers and shit. It's just, I'm a deaf fuck and I'm old.
Well, this movie had the thing where the kind of was the same thing that was Immaculate, where you're in Italy, so you have all these accents, right? And then the like, dude, but like, I was seriously watching this movie, and there were things happening that I'm like, why? Like they never explain shit. Like the chick getting hauled off into the side room, and then like they're like doing the like old ceremony, and I'm like, why? Like. I don't like why, and that's why I said this. Like, there's atmosphere where it doesn't feel like It's very much.
I
It
feel
feels
like there's atmosphere for the sake of just being atmosphere.
Yeah.
Sometimes,
And-
and that is one of a minor kind of issue that I guess I could call it an issue.
dude. And that's why I go. 100%. Brian, I want a text message after you watch Immaculate, because it really, 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 really feels like they read the Immaculate script and went, I want to do this, but for the Omen, because this movie is creepy before the fucking like last half an hour, but like it is weirdly, it feels like set up that they're like, oh, we have to set up stuff, not that they wanted. It feels like they had a short that they turned into an hour and a half movie, right?
Yes.
That like.
Exactly.
There
I
you
feel
go.
like
Yeah, that's a good way to put it.
that 100% that. I think like, and if you look at the two, I do feel like this one takes itself more seriously in
Yeah.
a lot of aspects than Immaculate up until the end.
Yeah.
But I mean,
Probably.
there's those sections in Immaculate where it doesn't feel like it's taking itself that seriously.
Yeah.
But
It probably does, literally just for the sake of the fact that it's part of a big franchise.
Yeah.
Right.
Well,
That's probably literally the only reason.
It really
But
feels
there were
like
a
they
lot of
went.
moments in this when I felt like there was a lot of filler, and
Yeah.
I wasn't
Mhm.
sure if it was, again, like maybe because, like I said, I had zoned out a little bit. And usually, if a movie has a lot of filler, that's when I check out, or if I can't hear it
Mhm.
well, that's when I
Yeah.
check out. And it just felt like there were a lot of moments of, okay, yes, I could see how this is atmospheric, but it also feels like filler.
Yeah.
So saying that makes a lot of sense. I
Yeah.
think that's a very
Yeah.
valid point.
It looks like it, honestly, and again, I like this movie because I thought the atmosphere was great. There was some creepy. Like I said, I think this movie is creepier than Immaculate. I think Immaculate's a better movie, but like, I think someone was like, "Pregnant nun." We could do that too, and we could make it an Omen
just
movie.
Call it the Omen.
Yeah, and it's just like, because like even the pregnancy is just a fucking thing that that's like that last half an hour, right, where they like, she isn't pregnant until the very end and it's just like shit like this. You're just like, I get what you did there because the ending's worth it, and like you're setting up, and it's so similar. And I get like I had seen like a guy talking about this on YouTube or something a while back, and I'm like, huh. And now after watching, I'm like, these movies are so. I mean, we know Hollywood. Hollywood does Volcano, and then they do like what is the other volcano movie that came out the same year, like Dante's Peak or whatever.
Dante's Peak.
Yeah. It's like oh, you're gonna do that, we gotta do that, and then they do the same. I mean, we talked about 2 spider movies in the like, and I know there was ones are from France and one's from here, but like, you just get the like people figure out this.
The reason that happens, and I think we've discussed it here, is that scripts are purchased and then they're shelved, and then a company will hear like, oh, so and so is getting ready to release or working on a movie that's about pirates.
I genuinely
should do a movie.
I genuinely think that the script for Immaculate was probably shopped around. Universal, I think it was Universal that put out the first Omen, right? Was it not? I can't remember. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
No, it was. It doesn't matter. It doesn't
Whatever,
fucking matter.
yeah.
Somebody at that studio read the Immaculate script and was just like, I'm not buying this, but
we have the Omen
idea.
Yeah, we have the rights to the Omen. Yeah,
prequel,
yeah.
So we'll find somebody to write a script for an Omen prequel,
and just
and
use
it's very
same
possible
idea.
that's what I mean. Look, would you be surprised to hear that somebody in Hollywood stole somebody's idea? I mean,
that would never
what I mean?
happen.
No,
Never.
You should be shamed just for making that potential accusation. I can't.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I apologize. I'll just remove myself.
It's the thing we talked about it. I mean, Hollywood's weird, man. Like they have the studio that made the Toxic Avenger remake. It was like, oh, this is
unwatchable bullshit.
Yeah, unreleasable.
Bullshit. It's got Kevin Bacon. It's always watchable.
Dude, you know what I've learned?
It's got Justin Long. Wait,
I am 2 degrees away from Kevin Bacon, or 3 degrees away from Kevin Bacon, whatever it is.
Everybody is.
Because, well, I mean, Classy Katie, who has been on the show, met Sean from Hot Ones. And Sean from Hot Ones obviously interviewed Kevin Bacon. So there is a immediate thing where, like, Continue was in a stripper van with Classy Katie. And so, like, I mean, there's also that. And so, like, yeah, we're basically best friends with Kevin Bacon at this point.
I think everybody is. But I have a friend back home who can do 5 degrees of Ghostbusters. And he can take anything, any movie-based thing, and relate it to Ghostbusters, and it is phenomenal to watch. Absolutely incredible to watch, which honestly might be a little bit easier than Kevin Bacon because there are so many people in the Ghostbusters franchise.
Yeah.
But still, it's amazing to watch.
Yeah. I want to know how you connect like the Minion movie into Ghostbusters. That's what I want to do.
Oh,
But
he could do it. I'm sure there's a director or a soundstage person or
I think you have to you have to connect Steve Carell to Bill Murray, and I'm sure that's not that hard.
That's
but
not hard.
Yeah. Oh yeah,
no way,
then there
hard.
you go. I mean, you pretty much did it.
Yeah. I was just thinking, I was like, I mean, Bill Murray's probably always the connection with that. Not the band.
Dan Aykroyd is a lot of connection.
And Ernie Hudson's been in surprising.
Oh yeah, because he floats around in like everything.
Dude, he's
the guy was in The Crow.
Yeah, he was wonder. It can't rain all the time.
Be cool.
It can't rain all the time.
Can't rain all the time,
dude.
He's also at every convention. I feel like, other than video game conventions, he's there.
I mean,
you know who else is at a lot of conventions? Is Keith David or David Keith, whichever one it is, from The Thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But he, everybody's like, oh, he's in The Thing. Awesome. He was in They Live. Also awesome. But he was also in Men at Work. All right, with Charlie Sheen and Emilio Estevez, and he says he has the greatest line in cinematic history in that movie. They open a trash bin, and he says, "Ah, somebody threw away a perfectly good white boy." Fucking amazing! It's the greatest thing ever fucking said.
I mean, dude, let's be real though. Like, it's like that is like the greatest movie or greatest line in movie history. Is I don't know if I think mine will always be Game Over, man. Game Over, because I love aliens and I love Bill Paxton with all my heart. Yeah. But like, yeah. I want to know who did the soundtrack for the first Element, because whoever they did, like I said it before, the soundtrack of this movie is fucking phenomenal. Like, in a way that
was Mark Corvin.
He did a really good, man. I love religious horror. Religious horror is a guy who grew up with good old Catholic boy, kind of like Ken, we when we talked about Teeth, it was Ken was like very like ecstatic, and I'm just like, yeah, I get when you get religious horror like this, I love it. That's why I like that Omen, the Exorcist movie last year fucking made me so sad. I just go, this movie, regardless of how much like the idea of it came about, because again, I'm pretty sure someone sold an idea. But like, I really do think that like, even the first half or first 2/3 of it that feels a little aimless, this movie has atmosphere. And what's the main chick's actress's name? Because
Nell Tiger Free.
She does an awesome job in this movie. Like, she really does.
Pretty good performance overall in this movie, really. Yeah, but you're right. I agree. Nell Tiger Free, she's really good in this movie.
Well, Lannister gets his fucking head like weirdly. Like, how did he get that? Like, that window stuff was falling. Was it the pipe took out the back of his head? I wasn't sure.
I think it was a pipe that split. Yeah, it like splits his head.
Well, dude, that is one of the most iconic scenes in the first movie, right? Is when that priest gets fucking impaled from like whatever, like falling down off of the roof. Ken, you've seen the original Omen movie, right?
Yeah, it's been a long time. Yeah. I have something interesting to throw at you in a second.
Okay, go.
Yes.
Go. Marsilia, I can't say her name right.
Yeah.
Baratheon, Cersei's daughter in Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
That actress was Nell Tiger Free.
Yeah.
Wow. What's all the Game of Thrones kids are out doing shit this year, because the kid that jumped out the window was the acolyte or one of the acolytes on the Acolyte show. The Toman, I think his name was like, he was the one who had the scar on his face on the Acolyte, if you watch any of that. So
Brian's not watched any of that himself. So.
Okay. Well, that's Toman from Game of Thrones. But like, so the Game of Thrones kids are out here doing shit this year, man. They are like doing stuff and like getting it's weird because it's also like, I mean, Deadpool and Wolverine came out on Friday, and the X-23 is out here looking like a full-on woman now when she was like a kid in that one, you know?
I know, it's crazy. Yeah, she's growing up quite a bit.
Well,
yeah.
she doesn't.
She's
She was
still
also
pretty
on the
damn young.
Yeah, I mean, how she's a pretty lady though. I mean, young, but she's
Yeah,
pretty.
she's cute.
She was also on the Acolyte. But she was an alien, so you couldn't tell it was her. But like, Brian, a sidetrack because this is like not for anything. Like, there's a certain character, and I'm not gonna ruin it, in the Deadpool and Wolverine that has an accent that I almost made me want to scream, and I was like, "This is going to ruin the movie." Kind of like weird. It was like it gave me back to our Tusk talk, Ken, when we were talking about.
Talking about.
I'm not gonna. I don't want to ruin it because Ken hasn't seen what.
The Shuffler.
Yeah. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
I've lived down there, and it was actually not bad.
Was it? It came off as terrible, but like I was like, okay. Fuck, man. What is the guy's
they're
name?
from Alabama, sir.
Are they? Okay.
Yes. And lived in Louisiana.
Okay. I had the other thing that I want to say about this movie that made me laugh was, or not laugh, but like the father who was the dude from I always think of him as the Underworld vampire.
I always think of him from Underworld as well.
Yeah,
like I know that he's known really well for Game of Thrones, but he will always be the baddie from Underworld.
Yeah. I think of him from Shaun of the Dead, 100%.
But I think that the first thing I ever saw him in was Babe, because wasn't he the shepherd? Wasn't he?
No, he's not the shepherd in Babe.
No.
Who am I
that was
thinking
James
of
Cromwell player.
Oh, okay, that's who it was.
Yeah.
Okay, old British dudes, man.
All y'all look alike.
No, I mean yes, but no. Like I don't know. I'm thinking of old British dudes, and I think I'm confusing myself. Okay, that makes sense. That makes more sense. But yeah, I always think of him as the Underworld vampire, and who. Okay, I'm gonna do connections because it makes me laugh. Because then we're gonna go back to Batman because that the face cutting off always reminds me of Equilibrium, which Equilibrium everyone busts the balls of the face cuttings in that scene. Ever like at the very end of that. Have you seen Equilibrium, Brian?
Yeah, hell yeah.
Ken, have you ever seen Equilibrium?
No.
So it's Christian Bale doing gun fu, and this is like before like even Batman, and he basically jumps into rooms and does like they have like predetermined like combat poses but with guns, right? And so they've optimized. It's like a Big Brother or like a 1984 kind of thing. It's kind of like Current America, but they go into rooms and they go and then everyone's dead because that's like the predetermined like thing will kill everyone in a room basically. And the very end of that movie, he cuts someone's face off, and it was very much like the end of like Underworld where he cuts the vampire's face off, but I don't know, or she cuts the vampire's face off. Dude, I really liked the first couple Underworld movies, and then they start getting the prequels, and I don't think I ever watched the last one they put out.
I actually enjoyed the prequel too. I like the first two and the prequel, and then I kind of checked out. I did watch the other ones, but they got so
vanilla.
I mean, don't get me wrong, I love Kate Beckinsale, and I think she's an awesome actor. She's also obviously she's quite beautiful, but I mean, I can only watch so much generic
vampire killing
vampire shit.
I always do appreciate
become that.
I do appreciate those movies use so many practical effects. So
yes, exactly, yeah. Because those werewolves in the first one were all practical.
Dude, where did 30 million go into the first Omen? Is my next question, because you're talking about like practical effects, and like it's practical effects, and then like
probably like the majority of it goes into that hand coming out of the vagina scene, which by the way would whenever it was being pushed for ratings, they wanted it NC-17 because of that, and they had to keep cutting and cutting and cutting, and finally they cut it down to from 12 seconds to what we actually get to see, and that's what allowed it to go through.
Dude,
but they had to cut it so much. They were like, get rid of it, and they're like, no.
Yeah. Well, it's like a dick, right? If you have an erect penis in a film, it is automatically considered NC-17 or a porno or whatever. Which is like America. Which is why when one of the earlier films we did on this podcast was the Der Samurai or whatever, where the guy is running around.
Yeah, I think you had Enola on for that episode.
Yeah.
Right?
And and he's running through the woods with a boner and a samurai sword, and you're just like, whatever happened to them? Like, I haven't seen them online in
Enola?
Yeah.
Oh, they're still doing their thing.
I
haven't talked to them in a while.
I haven't seen them in a while. Yeah, I was like, because Twitter is so fucking weird, man. Like Twitter, when it changes its algorithms, and you're just like, you could just lose people, like for the whatever. Because
Enola's wonderful though. I love them.
Yeah.
I love Enola.
Yeah. I did that thing where I used the wrong pronouns talking to them, and I'm just like, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to do that. Yeah. I was like,
it happens.
No. No, that scene, Ken, is just like, especially like, because you don't see, I mean, let's be real, you don't see vagina lips in like one of these things, right? It's like, if you don't see, like, you barely see naked vagina anywhere, and like the side where you see the hair, and it's just like, obviously it's fake because they're not having a hand coming out of a real vagina like that, but like,
you weren't there.
What? It always makes me think
assumption.
of in Knocked Up, the scene where the baby's crowning and you actually see it, and you're like, oh, that was unexpected, because it's just a quick moment. You're like,
right.
Yeah. What is it? I always think of Bob's Burgers. It looks like a softball coming out of a coin purse.
Oh my god.
Because they're recording, like they're gonna record over Gene's like being born for something, and it's like, oh, we could cut this down or whatever. Man. I really do like this movie. I think that I'm like Ken with a lot of it. That like Brian, and it will be really. I'm excited to hear what you say after watching Immaculate, because of it is.
Yeah, next episode I'll give you my a quick little thought on that, because I think I am gonna watch that tonight probably.
I again, it is just the similarities are just like. And this movie feels like it was rushing to an ending, and other than having, and I do think they made a lot of creepy stuff. The sound in this movie is creepy. The scenes with the fucking hand and the Satan shit are like when she's got the hand, like, was it petting her cheek or something like that, and the fucking lube is like just like, and you're like, I think
atmosphere, Rod.
Yeah,
it's atmosphere.
It's atmosphere. I said, like, this movie creeped me out at times, and they did that well. Especially
it atmosphered the fuck out of you.
Yeah, exactly. And I like the ending. I don't know what they're planning to do. They obviously were setting up for a sequel, right? And so, like, I'm like,
no,
they did set up.
That was
no.
I mean,
okay, two things: the little girl, and.
Right.
The end scene with her in the cabin and they're coming for you. They know you're alive or whatever. That was a setup.
Yeah.
I mean,
but if you're thinking that line, first of all, I don't think they pulled in enough money that they would do it. And second of all, how are they going to throw a sequel into the Omen franchise? Well, okay, I guess I shouldn't say that.
I mean, because it
would be an offshoot sequel focusing on
her and the daughter. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I'm not saying they're doing it because the money that they made.
No, you said they were. I heard it. You said in 2026 they will be releasing this, and you're all gonna watch it and think, haha, I'm the best ever.
We'll do it for episode 300 for the podcast. No, shut up, kid. That's not what I said. And they said they were setting up, which is not horror in the 80s always had to set up for fucking, like, I was watching, we were talking about what do you call it? A Night of the fucking, or Return of the Living Dead, and that was setting up for sequels, and they did sequels, and then you do other things like Night of the Creeps, or they set up for sequels, and they do sequels. I mean, it's like they always have.
It's a shame too, because Night of the Creeps is a fucking banger.
Oh, dude, it is. What do you call them? I always laugh at that. My Brandon Tenold, who does his things on his when he reviewed that movie, he was like, he laughs so hard at the "It's Miller Time" line, because it's like has no idea why he just says "It's Miller Time" on nowhere. It's like, But that movie is wild, and I really enjoy it. That was one of those movies that like.
Have you ever seen that? Have you covered Night of the Creeps?
No.
Oh, Ken, have you seen Night of the Creeps?
Mm-mm.
Oh,
We could do that next week. This is okay. This will wrap up, but like a couple things. One, this is episode 197, so we got 8, 9. We got 3 weeks until we do 200. So I want you guys thinking about, because I'm thinking too, but what you would like to do for 200, because that's a lot of episodes. So we're gonna do something cool. 2. I was gonna say something else, and then my brain fried. So think about episode 200. I think this is really what I was gonna say. Yeah. And if you want to do Night of the Creeps next week, I'm good with that. I haven't watched that movie in forever. I do enjoy the very homoerotic relationship between the two like lead characters throughout that most of that movie.
It's so good.
Yeah, you'll like it. It's a zombie movie, but not a typical.
It's a zombie movie, and it's a movie. It's a creepy crawly movie too, because it's got bugs and slugs and zombies.
It's like a prequel to
black
Slither.
And white intro.
Yeah. It's the prequel to Slither is really what it is. Let's be real. Without like
Slither is definitely a love letter to that fucking movie.
Yeah, I love Slither, man. Especially the
Slither
chick when
so good.
When she's the giant fat ball.
Yeah.
Okay. So anything? Think about what you would like to do for episode 200, because I'm thinking I don't know yet, but like
I don't know do I have a stake in this, because I'm not even Twitter official yet.
I mean,
I keep looking and
wondering.
where's your
why are you not?
Because you don't have an official Twitter account.
Add my name.
Where's your official Twitter account?
I don't have one personally.
Then how do I make you Twitter official then?
You put me on there. It says, hey, Brian and Ken and Rod, or Rod.
Okay. Fine, I'll do that. I will do that for you, Brian. I will do that.
I feel like a loner.
Dude, if you would have had a Twitter presence, I would have already added you. But here we go.
I'm gonna set up a cameo. Okay, you can rent a co-host.
You could rent a co-host. Rent a Brian
for fucking $5.
Okay, here we go.
I'm gonna charge you $5 every episode.
Okay, here we go.
You owe me $30.
Let's do this. As I'm doing this, you guys could plug your things.
Yeah, plug your things.
Plug your thing.
What are you guys watching?
Oh, my next episode.
Yeah, go ahead and introduce your episode, and then tell us, or introduce the show, and then tell us about it.
Yeah. Well, once again, listeners, watchers, you can find me at the We're Gonna Make You Watch podcast as well, where me and Isaiah force my best friend Warren to watch all the horror movies that he tried to avoid his whole life. The next episode, we made him watch The Evil Dead.
You're on there officially.
I'm a Twitter official. Oh wow, look at that!
Look at that!
I'm gonna cry.
You're gonna cry, you son of a bitch. Ken, you plug your stuff.
No, I need to know. Is it the original one that you guys are doing?
The original one.
Nice.
Yeah. He had actually seen Evil Dead Arise because his cousin made him go watch that with him. So it's one of like 4 horror movies he's seen that we didn't force him to see. But yeah, he went into that completely blind, had no idea about anything, and walked out quite traumatized.
I was gonna say that's a pretty traumatic 4th horror movie to watch. Like you're like,
he was like, what the fuck?
It's like,
but then he watches the original, which is wildly tame.
Yeah.
In comparison.
Dude,
he said it's fucking gross.
Dude, it's like all the people. I feel like everyone who thought Terrifier 2 was the grossest movie of all time. That was like their 4th. That was like the same thing. They're like they've seen like 5 horror movies before that.
Yeah, and they never saw Dead Alive.
Yeah, dude, you take a fucking chain like a lawnmower into a fucking group of people and you just do. Or,
yeah,
dude, I just remind me because speaking of that. Stephen King, I guess, went in and watched Bone Tomahawk recently, and his reaction was pretty classic.
Watched what? Sorry?
Bone Tomahawk.
Bone Tomahawk.
Oh.
Which is a Western movie that has cannibals in it that is very much... Yeah. Would you call that a horror movie? I mean...
Yeah, it's a horror Western. I call it a horror movie.
It's very much like, I mean, that splitting a person in half is more traumatizing than anything in Terrifier 2, but that's just me. I don't know. Okay, Ken, you pimp your stuff.
Yo.
Can you like?
She got the leg all up and everything.
Yo. So I stream of my username is continue across the board. Not continue across the board. That would actually be really funny. It's just continue. And not just continue, it's continue.
I'm stealing.
Not it's continue either.
Okay, now
Tintinue. You can find me at twitch.tv/continue. You can find me on Twitter. You can find me on Fansly. You can find me in Discord, which is just discord.gg/continue. Feel free to come and hang out. I stream every day except for Saturday. I am currently working through my playthrough of Fallout London, which I guarantee you is going to be at least a few weeks, if not a month, because that's how I play Fallout games. So if you want to come check that out, make sure you do so. And yeah,
I'm gonna tell Ralph all the new things he needs to domain now because of the rant you just went on. Can like continue across the board and
continue across the board. It's just continue.
It's continue. Just continue.
You know Ralph will buy those web domains, right? So they will exist. So okay, and you can follow me on Twitter at Rod_Johnston, and I'm on Twitch at the same, so go follow me those places. And yeah, I've been playing through Fallout New Vegas. Yeah, buy my book.
Buy Rod's book.
I haven't even checked. I was thinking about that earlier today while I was watching the movie. It is called The Death and Birth of a Rebirth of a Human Heart. It's wonderful, so you should buy it. And yeah, I've been posting poems. I got one I got to post tomorrow for my stream from yesterday. But yeah, so you can do that. And go to murderous.com. You can buy gear. So you get a sweatshirt or a hoodie or swag. So, okay, guys. Night of the Creeps next week from, was it 1985?
83, between 83 and 85. Probably 85-ish.
It's with what's his name? Was Tom
Atkins.
Tom Atkins is fucking
Tom
fantastic.
Atkins with facial hair. It's a facial hair Tom Atkins. So it's not the weird Tom Atkins that you have in The Fog.
Yep.
Strange.
Where he is forever creepy in that movie with baby Jamie Lee Curtis, but like he's old man Tom and Jamie's like 22.
I wonder how old he was in that movie. Next episode, I'll tell you how old Tom
he was. He was one of those guys that looked like he was 67 since he was like 32.
He was 30.
Yeah, he's just like, I'm 67 years old, even though I was born 30 years ago. And yeah, and he just looked like that until he died. And yep, he was like, it was like, you know how like Black don't crack and Asians look young forever. He was just the old white dude who looked like, you see those memes of like a 20-year-old in like 1910 where they worked like for 5 years and the work was so much harder and they look like they're 97 already. He's kind of like that, but like he just looked like fucking. It's the exact opposite. He cracked real early and just looked cracked for the rest of his life. But he's a really good actor.
Speaking of that, did you guys know that Snoop Dogg is not in his 70s? Because he's in his 60s. No, he's 52.
He's only a few years older than me.
Yeah.
Because he broke out very young. He was really young when like they recorded like Doggy Style and shit. Yeah.
Dude, when he was on him and Dre and stuff were on Conan, or not Conan, they were on Jimmy Kimmel, and it was like that was like 6 months ago. And he was like talking about how he had sent Dre, or like he recorded a demo for Dre when he was in lockup. Like he was locked up at that point, and because like he did it over the phone or something like that. I'm like, Jesus Christ, dude. And that man is just like that fucking Smokeless campaign was one of the most gotcha things ever. And I'm like, Snoop, you fucking troll, you troll. So okay, next week. Night of the Crease. We love you guys. Thank you for listening. Immaculate. I mean, the first one was pretty entertaining, so I hope you guys enjoyed listening to us talk about it. So we catch you guys next week. Love you. Bye.
Bye.